And welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Tulip and Golf. Now, this particular news is interesting, I would say, because we talk a lot about rice pledging scheme, about how we have stock of rice, about how we can't seem to sell them. And at this point, there has been a report that surfaced just like late last week and over the weekend saying that, well, Dr. Warong Det Kit Wikrom, who is actually the MPs, Phitsanulok MPs for the Democrat Party, posted on his Facebook showing pictures of rice, traces of rice that has been burnt and somehow in the area where he said that, you know, he would like to know why are they burning rice. Maybe there's like some something ongoing, suspicious thing that, you know, might referring to the stock of rice by the government that actually hasn't been able to released. Now, of course, stemming from this particular case, there has been a lot of talk, and of course, a lot of the villagers in the area actually very concerned as well, because due to the fact that obviously these are rice, and you know, if you don't use it, normally you don't really burn them, and there's a lot of talk about the corruption already ongoing in terms of rice pledging scheme. So in order to actually answer that, the minister, Kun Waratep Rattanakon, who's the agriculture minister, has came out and said that if Dr. Warong gonna release some kind of information, he should check it first, because apparently this rice, this pile of rice, were actually has been dampened during the rainy season. And what happened was that they tried to put these rice, as you can see there, there's also this actually said that these rice are a property or belongs to the rice pledging scheme. So obviously these are all the rice that has the government will have to pay for them already, and somehow they said that these rice has been sold already, according to Kun Waratep, said that sold to Kaset Paisan Thanyakit company. However, the company could not keep the rice at, you know, their building and such due to the fact that the rice were dampened, so they put it outside in the sun. And according to the authorities, you know, especially in Phitsanulok province, because this is where it took place, they say that the pile of rice, when it's set in the sun, is somehow ignite itself and start burning. That's what they say. Really? I did not realize that, but it's interesting. Really? Yeah, that's what they say, that they did not burn it. It's just the fact that it was like sitting in the sun, and somehow there's a smoke afterward, and that's why it's burning. Yeah, so that's the explanation that we received. And plus, of course, the Kaset Paisan Thanyakit company will actually have to answer to this question, because these are 1,300 tons of rice. So you would not think that if the company actually bought that much rice, they would actually left it out. However, I believe that the company probably going to have to answer to this, and you know, they have pretty much interesting ideas of explaining to us. However, they probably will have to answer to a lot of the investigators as well, because a lot of people in the area were not very happy. Plus, they say that they removed it and put it out in the sun due to the fact that when they put it close to the canal area, it ended up releasing, because obviously the rice would become rotten, right? So the rotten rice were actually releasing all the bad odor, plus, you know, it's dampened the water as well. So it wasn't good all in all. So that's why they have to pile it together, and it ended up ignite itself. So it's such an unfortunate incident, but you know, they're probably going to have to work on this, because obviously due to the fact that it's just said clearly that these actually belong to rice pledging scheme, and for 1,300 tons of rice, it's quite suspicious that the company actually just gonna left it like that.
Maybe this rice have the, what's it called, self-destroy system.
Who knows? But you know, that's the explanation.
Okay, from rice we move on from the rubber. So another
produce of ours that
that have been big issues in Thailand, because actually if you listen to a lot of the academic and expert, they said this is actually the time of the year that the world market price of the rubber is actually low. It's like it's the usual low price season.
Right. So it's not like there's going to be an alarm that, oh, the price is going to drop kind of thing. Okay.
But all in all, the protest that's happening is due to the unsatisfying result from the cabinet or from the government itself. Not all over the weekend, the rubber farmer has gathered again, but not all of them come back. But the main part that start gathering again over the weekend is on the Asia Highway 41 in Nakhon Si Thammarat at Khon Nong Hong at Chawat district. This is the main area since last protest and still the main area over the weekend until now. But in other provinces such as in Krabi, Songkhla or Prachuap Khiri Khan, they pretty satisfied with what government has promised.
Right.
They has not gathered again. But before we go in detail at the Nakhon Si Thammarat, we'll tell you a little bit about Prachuap Khiri Khan. Even though Prachuap Khiri Khan doesn't really have the gathering right now, but they were just having some kind of fundraising over the weekend, and they got good amount of money that they will use to help with the locals, with the protests that were injured during the protests at the beginning of September. But they also said if the process going kind of slow, they're probably going to come out and protest again.
Right.
But the farmer in Nakhon Si Thammarat couldn't wait that long. They already gathered over the weekend and closed both inbound and outbound in Asia 41, but reportedly the mass transportation still working through these provinces, but they have to use a detour. It will take a little longer time than usual, but at least it's still communable.
Okay.
And they said the reason that they come back and protest again because when they were supposed to have an MOU signed between the representative of the rubber farmers and the government has sent Police Major General Thawat Bunfeung, which is the Deputy Secretary General to the Prime Minister, to sign the MOU. They feel that this person in particular doesn't really have any authority in making decisions, and sending down this person to sign the MOU, it just makes them not happy. Right. They're requesting the government to actually send General Pracha Prom Nok, Deputy Prime Minister, come down to sign the MOU instead. So they are still blocking the road. Also, actually earlier there was also a protest at Ban Tao Poon in Julapon district of the same province, but later on the protesters from that area have moved to join with the one at Chawat district, and they issue 6 requests to the government. They're asking the government to guarantee the rubber sheet price to not lower than 100 baht per kilogram, and also the rubber scrap to be 50 baht per kilogram. And they're also asking the government to guarantee palm oil price to not lower than 6 baht per kilogram. And they want the government to have clear answer within 7 days, and if the government doesn't have clear answer in 7 days, they will elevate the protests again, and they will join the students, the university student of Ramkhamhaeng University, and they will march to the parliament and also to the government house to making the request.
Right.
And they asking government, we're still on the 6th request. The number 5 is they asking the government to not really press charges against the protesters in any cases, all of them. And the last request is the government have to provide some rehabilitation, financial-wise, about the protest dispersed. I would say the crowd control police that went in to try to disperse the protests earlier at Kwan Nong Hong intersection in Chawat district at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
So 7 days, we have another deadline approaching.
And that's the thing, like I think there's a lot of people who are not really registered as part of the rubber farmers as well. So
it said 90% of the rubber farm in Prachuap Khiri Khan, or the higher part of the southern of Thailand, actually not registered. So they're the one that actually get really affected, because even though the government said they will be able to subsidize the fertilizer for 2,520 baht per rai and such, but if you're not registered, you're not really qualified.
Right. And I think they were asking for these people to be included as well. So I don't get it, like if you're not included, then maybe you should register yourself already. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think it's more about the title deed, the deed of the land itself, that actually not really belong or register as the rubber farm. So
I guess, these people are in trouble as well. So that's good. At least, let's see if the government can do something about this. But, in terms of press charges, I still feel like maybe this still should be on the table if you actually, did something wrong.
It's 7 days and the Prime Minister already back to Thailand. So this thing we should be able to move fast.
Forward. Exactly. All right, so moving on to another news, very sad news, as I said. However, this time doesn't involve the death of the ranger, but two of the believed to be insurgents, the RKK insurgents, is sad because these two are quite young, 19 and 22. Now they say that early in the morning of yesterday there has been a raid, a big raid. We're talking about 50 of the rangers altogether that went into the rubber plantation. As you can see, there is situated right inside the rubber plantation, and there was they asking the two culprits to actually come out, because obviously they got a tip off already that these two will be in the area. However, instead of coming out, these two, Kun Muhammad Ayi Tayeh as well as Kun Abdullah Jatni, fire back at the rangers. So what happened is the ranger obviously fought back and ended up when everything is died down, they realized that the two bodies were actually found in the scene. However, there were more culprits in the hut itself. They say that they believe to be 5. The rest just ran away. At this point, they are trying to find them. However, they believe that these two, at least, that were shot dead, are actually part of the RKK, or the Randa Kampulan Kasil network, which led by Hubaidila Rammuli as well as Abate Ali. Now, they said that these two were probably the 19 and the 22 years old were actually are the culprit who working as a person who delivered information within the area to the RKK themselves, as well as delivering food. So they're not one of the soldiers and such. However, they still have the rifles as well as a AKA gun, the machine gun with them. So obviously at this point the police are still trying to find the rest of the culprit in the area, but as for these two, they already has been shot dead right at the scene.
Okay.
Southern violence continue. Now let's amuse us with this news.
Oh, it's the epic continues.
Yeah.
Veerapol Sukhpon.
At one point when we thought we forgot about him, he surfaced.
Yes, this is like a sequel of
A James Bond sequel.
James Bond sequel of a big action movie.
Right.
This is probably the third sequel already. It's keep,
Right.
surface more and more. There was a report that there was an attempt to arrest Veerapol Sukhphol or Luang Pu Nen Kam, or we call him Scandalous Monk or Jet Set Monk in
Right.
some newspaper.
Right.
So many names. He actually internationally famous. Apparently, there was an attempt to try to make an arrest of this man at the Phu Khao Kwai temple in Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos PDR. The police, they said that there was a police team from Thailand sent to Laos and already giving the arrest warrant to the temple, but they said there is some kind of incomplete communication between the authority of Thai and the authority of the Laos side, so they're unable to get in the temple. So they were surrounding the temple. But next thing you know, Veerapol Sukhphol hop on the helicopters along with another 5 monks and gone
so
from
cool.
Laos. And somehow he surfaced again in America.
He's getting cooler and cooler. I gotta
He's getting
tell you.
cooler and cooler. He appeared again in America, apparently at the Laos temple in Oklahoma, which he have the followers, both Thai and Laos, that still have faith in him, helping him with...
I don't know how those people actually find ways to have faith in him.
Okay, if you don't look at the religious side, if this is really
I don't think it's faith.
If it's really involved in money laundering,
Right.
if he goes out, if he got arrested, there will be a lot of people got in trouble with him. So if the money laundering
faith might not
charge,
play a part in this particular case.
if money laundering charge is valid, is true, which most of us believe that is true, there will be another 10 or 20 rich people that will be arrested and have to go through court case with him.
That has made a handsome donations, I'm pretty sure.
So the right now there is actually an American lawyer that volunteered to defend the case for Veerapol Sukhphol, and reportedly said that this lawyer will asking for the asylum, religious asylum. Normally we heard the political asylum, but the news said that this American lawyer, which doesn't have a name, will ask for religious asylum for Veerapol Sukhphol, which in response, DSI said this shouldn't be able to...
It doesn't have ground.
Yes, because actually the charge is about money laundering and also statutory rape.
Exactly.
It's nothing involved with religion, so they believe that the U.S. government shouldn't allow the asylum, and in order to issue or allow Veerapol Sukhphol as the refuge in the country, they have to ask for evidence from Thai government first. So DSI pretty sure that the U.S. government will cooperate with Thai government to for the extradition.
Right. Now with that, we're going to take a short break. Of course, we have a lot more interesting news, including the People Reform Assembly that seems to just rise up over the weekend. So please stay tuned.